Tuesday afternoon, still at the Trees and Utilities Conference on the exhibit hall floor, and we have the new UAA president, Brandon Hughson.
Thank you, Phil.
Yeah, welcome.
Yeah,
It's
congratulations.
good to have
Yeah, thank you.
you. Hey,
Yeah.
Brandon, we're going to ask you to, first introduce yourself. Tell us a little
Yeah.
bit about you and what you're doing these days.
Yeah, so Brandon Hughson, as Phil mentioned, current president of the Utility Arborist Association. I also work for a company called Protect Terra. We are a vegetation management company that specializes in low-volume herbicide applications.
Yeah, good. And you're
Still
out of the...
based out of Minnesota. Still based out of Minnesota, although our company is based out of Lexington, Kentucky, and really looking forward to moving forward with that.
Yeah, good. President UAA, that's a 4-year, really it's a 4-year commitment,
Yes, sir.
right? So
Yes,
this
sir.
is year 3, if I recall.
It is, yeah. It's actually going into year 6, as I was on the board prior to that for 3 years, and then for the term of the president, it is 4 years, starting with president-elect, moving into, vice president, president-elect, president, and then past president.
Yeah. So as former executive director, I know how important the president is.
Yes,
So
sir.
what motivated you to throw your hat in the ring? And I mean, it takes time.
It does, yeah. A lot of it has to do with some of my past mentors that have come before me. A couple of them are no longer here with us. That being Nelson Money and Will Nutter. Both of them really kind of took me under their wing and showed me what the UVM industry is. And Nelson really got me engaged inside of UAA, and that's why I'm here today.
But you're not wearing a Hawaiian shirt.
I
so
am not
he
wearing a
didn't
Hawaiian
teach you
shirt.
everything.
Yeah, I know.
Being newer to the industry, I find that the UAA and this forum it's an extremely welcoming environment, and it's growing.
Yes, sir.
And its footprint, its impact. I mean, you guys did a great job. I got a chance to hear you speak earlier today, and you did fantastic. And I'm just so impressed with just how this group and how your organization functions and how it communicates with its constituents. It's fantastic.
Yeah, no, at UAA, we're really looking to bring all of that education to all of our members and all of our hopefully new members that are joining us as they, maybe first time at this conference.
Yeah.
And I think with, we're over 1,000 people this year at Trees and
That's
Utilities,
amazing.
which
That
is,
amazing.
it's unreal. Phil, how many did we have in Kansas City?
I remember us hoping we could get to 300. I think we had 350.
Yeah, and here we are at 1,000 people. We have over 100 exhibitors here at the conference this year, and I think everyone just continues to raise their game as the years go on. And there's new emerging technologies that are coming out.
Yep.
There's a lot of new faces as I look around the trade show floor here that I personally haven't seen throughout the years, and I'm sure Phil had a lot of new faces.
The number of companies that weren't here 3 years ago is amazing to me.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
So Brandon, what's on the docket like for you in your sort of reign and time?
Yeah.
And I know you're in good company because obviously, Phil and I've gotten a chance to meet a lot of the former presidents, and it's a cool little fraternity. So
Tej, my main focus is really around, the engagement of the UAA. How do we start to engage a lot of the newer incoming folks into it? If you have an opportunity to go to the UAA website, there's a series of videos that we just produced last year, and all of those videos are really trying to encourage folks and entice folks and engage folks inside of our space here in the Utility Arborist Association. And when Dennis and I were looking at those, we looked at how do we start to engage the younger generation into our industry. And, social media is big. Videos capturing, those little sound bites all the time are really kind of those attention grabbers for the younger folks, I think.
Yeah.
And, that's really where I'm focusing on is how do we continue to bring the UAA out to the masses, but on the flip side of that, what do the masses want from the UAA as well? Because I think that's a two-way street where we can provide the stuff, but we also need to know what folks are wanting as well.
As we've interviewed people here in the last 2 days,
Yeah.
people have fascinating backgrounds, all kinds of job, that they're doing. The one thing we all have in common is we never heard of this industry. So if we can get them past that barrier, they love veg management.
That's absolutely correct, Phil. And I know you'll remember this. If you go back some years, again, to Kansas City, Scott Packard from Wright Tree Service did a presentation that was like the jaywalking on the Tonight Show, where he went out and interviewed people that says, do you know what utility vegetation management is? And I don't think there was one person that knew what utility vegetation management was in all of his interviews. So you're absolutely right.
So you work for a low volume herbicide company.
Correct.
Right? You're based out of Minnesota. The company's obviously based, I think you mentioned, in Louisville, Kentucky.
Lexington, Kentucky.
Yes, sir. Okay. Maybe let's just take a step back, and learn a little bit about your journey through this industry that put you in this position where you are now. What were some of the stops along the way?
My first and only other stop was with a company called Rainbow Tree Company based out of the Minneapolis area.
Okay.
And, from the utility space, what we primarily targeted was tree growth regulators, or TGRs. Okay. And, that's really where I got introduced into the utility space, the utility veg management space. And that's really where I've been able to help promote that inside of our industry and bring it up as another tool in the toolbox, so that utility companies can see the value in it, can see what the return on the investment is.
Yep.
And then they're able to, utilize that inside of their IVM programs. I was there for about 14 years and made the decision in January to take a little break, and I've known Brent, who I work with now for a good 10 plus years, and after the dust kind of settled, it was just the right opportunity at the right time, so stars kind of aligned there, Tej.
Okay, that's awesome.
Yeah,
that's
good.
Really cool.
The other aspect of it is Phil has been a person that's always saying, hey, we're looking for this or we're looking for that, and trying to get new people on board inside of the UAA, and I happen to be one of those individuals that Phil brought along. So,
that's great.
It's great. It's amazing the people that give back to the industry. You being one, and we had a meeting the other day where some of the past leadership was there.
Yeah,
and it had to go back 25 years.
Yeah,
and these are just people that give back. They're busy just like everyone else, but they are willing to give back to make the industry better.
Why do you think that is? Because I'm. Again, being new, but I've also observed the same thing. I don't think I've ever seen an industry where even competitors kind of can put their guard down and they work together. Everyone's very collaborative. Like it's a really nice community. Why do you think that is? I love it. I just want to know why.
I think one of the main reasons is that we all have a common goal, and that's to help our customers or the utility company provide safe, reliable power. And we have storms that happen. We have all of these natural disasters that happen, and everybody has to come together to work together in those times in order to restore the power and get everything back in the way, or moving in the right direction, or moving in the direction of living again, versus saying, well, I don't have any power for the last week. What am I going to do?
Yeah.
So I think that's one of the big aspects of it. And I also think that a lot of the folks that have come through the UAA are represented at a lot of these organizations. The UAA is able to, I think, bring a cohesive group of people together that really brings that kind of family type of atmosphere together.
Yeah, that makes sense. That actually makes a lot of sense.
It was interesting, even on stage today when they gave out the various awards. It'd be somebody from Townsend giving the award to a competitor's employee or whatever, and it is really.
I thought that was really cool.
At the end of the day, we take our logos off of our shirts. We're all people.
I like that. That's great. Well, you're achieving it because I can see it. It's very clear, and it's I've had a great experience. I've been very welcomed into many conversations and dialogue, and I'm very impressed. It's fantastic. You guys are doing a great job.
Thank you.
Yeah, you guys are doing a really, really good job.
$40 a year to be a member of UA, a professional association. It's absolutely amazing.
It is, and one of the things that we are looking at is what does the member get? What is the member getting? What is the end game, or the $40? What's that going to? And it's going to a lot of things. It's going to pay for the staff. It's going to put things like this on. It's going to continue with our webinar series. I mean, it's all for everything there.
Yeah. So you have another year commitment, right?
Yes, sir.
In your role. So when you finish your commitment, what are other ways? Are there still other ways that you can participate in the leadership, or from that perspective, is there like a former president's mentorship club? Like, what are some of the things that will allow you to stay connected to the UAA in leadership type roles?
Yeah. Well, one of the ways is just continuing through the committees. I mean, we have so many committees inside of the UAA. That's a great opportunity to continue that volunteerism, or that support of the organization. The other aspect is that there was a group of us that met on Tuesday morning to have coffee, and it was all a bunch of past presidents and some past officers. And one of the things that I'm looking at doing is, how do we continue to engage all of those folks?
It's a great idea. Yeah.
And I threw out a quarterly teams meeting where it's not a mandatory thing whatsoever. It's voluntary, that people can get together and just share updates of what's going on in the industry, what's happening in other parts of vegetation management, and just to get that collective group back together. Because at the end of the day, people have gone down the road before, and I don't necessarily want to make the same mistake that they made. So I'm going to look to my mentors and folks that have come before me.
Great way of thinking about it.
There were 14 people in that room, and I'll bet 600 years of experience in that neighborhood.
Yeah.
I don't know the
a
number,
lot of experience there,
it was
Phil.
just amazing. We would want to take advantage of them as long as they're willing to keep offering.
Yeah, most definitely.
With the exhibitors and some of the things that you've seen this year, is there anything that kind of stood out to you on the floor that kind of caught your eye, or anybody did anything that really blew you away?
Well, Wright Tree Services booth is
the 3-story one.
Yeah, is quite
impressive.
the thing. What I heard was that on Monday they took about 11 hours and weren't finished with putting it together. So that's probably the most
elaborate,
elaborate trade show booth I've seen. But it draws people in.
Oh, it definitely does.
It's a big year for them.
It is. Yeah, it's their 90th, I believe.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah, we got a couple big things. We got 95th from Asplin. We got 90 at Wright. And I believe Davie is up there in the 90s as well, 90 or 95. So we got a lot of history in this room.
Yeah, there's a lot of history. That's amazing. I mean, anybody that can be around for 90 plus years has done something right. So yeah, that's fantastic.
We're looking across the aisle at a booth, Saluting Branches, and I know you used to be on the board.
I was.
So can you tell us about Saluting Branches and why you support it?
I definitely can. So Saluting Branches was born out of the idea, actually, from Rainbow Tree Company. And we wanted to give back and do a civic project that was giving back to folks in our communities. And when we started looking at a bunch of ideas, we had about 25 different ways that we saw that we could give back. And someone came forth with the idea of working in these veteran cemeteries. Well, in Minnesota, we had, through the ISA, we had the day of service at the Fort Snelling Cemetery, and we decided, you know what, we're going to bring this across where all of our employees are, and we're going to start doing some work. Well, we realized quickly that, hey, we can't do this on our own, so we took it from the birth of Rainbow, of Saluting Branches, and brought it to the masses of the industry. And now that board is a board that is ran by many folks across the country that are associated in residential tree care, commercial tree care, utility tree care. And it's just a great way that we're able to give back to all of those that served and gave the ultimate sacrifice.
Oh, man. That is absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, and this year, I believe, is the ninth year of Saluting Branches, and I think they're up over 3,500 people or something from a registration standpoint. And that's, one day of service. And if you put that all together, Phil and Tej, it's over like $2 million worth of service that's done in one day and given back to our veterans. And it's just amazing.
That is an amazing, So appreciate your bringing us up to speed on that.
Go check it out. If you've never heard of it, go to salutingbranches.org and you can find out more about the Day of Service.
Well, congratulations to you and the entire UAA team for putting on a world-class event. And, congratulations on your president role and all the great things that you're doing. And thank you for making time, my friend.
Yeah, appreciate both of you.
Thank you. Brandon, appreciate it.
It was lovely.
Yeah, it's a lot of
awesome.
fun.
Thanks, Brandon.
Yeah, thank you.
Right.
That's it for this episode of Trees and Lines, brought to you by Iapetus Holdings. If you like the show, please give us a 5-star rating on Apple or Spotify. If you have any questions or comments on any of our episodes or ideas for topics or guests, we'd love to hear from you. Please contact us at treesandlines@iapetusllc.com. We'll chat with you soon.